All right, good morning, YouTube. Focused Hands here. So today I got the car jacked up, and I have this little piece of wheel adapter equipment here that I'm going to be installing for the Focus. Now, what's special about this is that it is the bottom is 4x108, which is 4.425 for all of you current Focus users. And the top is 5x108 for some rims that I'm going to try to run for the car. I really like, 5x108 is much more rare than 4x108, but I kind of like sticking with, rims that are pretty rare. And I kind of want to stay a little bit closer to the Ford Focus rim or Ford rim as possible. So I ended up picking up some rims that I'll show you in a little bit for $200, and I'm going to try to install those. But first, I'm going to install these adapters, and we're going to do it the right way. So stay tuned.
Hey, you're on viral.
All right, so first thing, I bought these adapters off of usadapters.com, and I specifically asked them to make the rings, well, not the rings, the hubs, hub centric and wheel centric. So that's what you'll see in here. I picked these up, a set of two, for $149 plus $25 for each custom edition for hub centric and wheel centric rings on here. So basically $200 for a set of two. Pretty expensive, but so I did a lot of research before I decided to put any wheel adapters on my car to see what would fit. Do I need to get hub centric versus no hub centric, yada yada. I watched a lot of videos, did a lot of research on YouTube, and I think you should do the same thing. Now you can use me as a resource because this is my first time ever doing this to my car, and you should always do research when you are fiddling with your car and or doing something for the first time. So let's dive in. One thing I didn't notice yesterday is that you're gonna need this tool here if you're buying this 4x108 to 5x108. You're gonna need 8mm metric. It has a hexagonal bit head, and that will fit directly. See if I can do this without looking. It will fit directly in there to turn this. Get the right tool for the job. If you watch my video about the oil change disaster, I've learned. I went out and got the right tool for the job. Do that. All right, so let's get these off and I'll turn you back on. So just when I want to start using the tool, I take off the little plastic piece, and it broke off inside. So what I've done is I've took a screwed it into the plastic, and I should be able to remove it from there. Notice the emphasis on word should be able to remove it. There you go. A little handy dandy trick for plastic that gets stuck in here. Anyway, stay tuned. All right, so now that I have the two pieces separated, you can see that they both are indeed hub centric and wheel centric, as exactly what you want. Now I'm going to go and put these on. Word of advice and a word of note to US adapters, if you're watching this, you put these on too tight. Like, you really snug them down, and it really made it difficult to get off. I had to actually use a cheetah bar to get these off. Shame on you. All right, let's go over to the wheel. And what we want to test for sure is if my studs fit below this housing. So I'm gonna run my fingers across here, and you can see, and one, this isn't, it can move left or right, but it's definitely hub centric. So when I look right here, do you see that the studs aren't sticking out? And that's what you want. If your studs are sticking out past this adapter, then you need to either shave your studs down and or your adapters won't work. And you definitely shouldn't drive your car if your studs are sticking out past that adapter. And that's what I was told. So coming from people who know how to install these, make sure you do it the right way. Now, these nuts here are conical, and they sit in those wheel hubs, those on top of these studs, excuse me. Let's get one off. These are conical. You don't want radial, you want to get the conical seat, and these should fit right over, and these should also be flush, not flush, but below the surface of the wheel adapter. Otherwise, your wheel could come flying off down the road, and that will be a very bad problem for you. And you will be responsible for someone else if you cause damage to them, and I don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you're installing these right. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos where these were installed wrong. They use these bolts to tighten these down, and hopefully that they were able to fix those before they cause problems for themselves or for someone else. I'm not trying to do that out here. So take it from me and from anybody else you watch with wheel adapters. Make sure that you have hub-centric and wheel-centric adapters, and you tighten everything down. Don't use an impact wrench. Tighten everything down, and you should be fine. So I'm going to stop talking now and get everything all put together, and then we'll move on to the next part. Stay tuned. All right, so before you ask, no, none of this is torqued down to spec because I'm just practicing before I do the real test run later on. But right now, I'm just figuring out how everything is supposed to go on, and you're supposed to torque down the stud bolts to for the focus. For my focus is 100 foot-pounds, and then you torque these down. Don't use a impact wrench for any of these, for the black bolts, but you can use impact wrenches for those and torque wrenches for those. So now I'm going to go and get the the rims so that you can see what I've done. Stay tuned. All right, so in this box is a set of rims that I picked up for $200, and I want to see if they work. So let's take a look at them. Nice, huh? These are Ford Edge 5x108 with a 55mm offset and a 63.4 center bore. So they should fit. They should fit the car. And we're going to put them on and see what it looks like. The old owner was nice enough to supply me with the old lug nuts from the car. So I have these to throw on to the spots, and they fit, which is cool. So let me get these on, and we'll continue. All right, so let's take a look. So if I'm looking at it from this angle, it sticks out just a bit, which I think is kind of cool. I don't know, I kind of like it. If we go up underneath, you can see that it doesn't look like it will rub on anything, but we'll definitely see when we get some tires on it. And looking at it from this angle, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Obviously, I'm going to sand them down and paint them gloss black, but take a look at that. See those bad boys chopping down the street on some Ford Edges. Pretty cool, huh? And everything, the adapters feel solid. I'll link where I got them in the description, so that if you want to pick up a set of these adapters for yourself, they work with the Focus. You don't have to shave down the studs. I believe they are 1.75 mil thick. So yeah, go figure. Let me know what you think. Let's go look at it from this side. See how it sticks out just a bit? The tire will stick out just a bit. I may have to get those fender flares. I may have to do fender flares, so that just adds a little more content to the channel. But I don't know. I'll have to see how it looks with no fender flares first. But I like it. Just gotta visualize tires on it, and it definitely gives it a much more wide stance than before. I wonder how these are going to fit. So these are what I'm kind of afraid about, is the front, and I don't think the fronts are going to fit. All right, YouTube, so just for giggles, I did the front. Oh, let me back this up. I did the front as well, and as you can see from the sides, I'm going to take you from the other angle. These are 18s, 18 by 8s, and there's the line. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. Like I said, I gotta get tires on them first and turn it. It should clear. I shouldn't have any problems with spaces. It clears the brake calipers, and these are the 2010 brake calipers, by the way. They are not Ford 2005 stock. They are the 2010 brake calipers, the big boys, as I call them. And yeah, looks pretty cool, right? Let's go from this angle. Kick that out the way. Look at that. That's gonna be pretty cool. 5 lug upgrade on a 2005 Ford Focus. That's pretty fitting. 5 for 5. 5 for 5. Let's go with that. Stay tuned. If you're putting on wheel spacers, do everything that I said. Don't cheap out. Don't get the eBay wheel spacers. Make sure that it's hub centric and wheel centric for your car. Make sure you tighten everything down, torque it to spec. Do everything you can to protect yourself and your car. And wheel spacers are just as safe as anything. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay tuned.